just tuned in to the baddest podcast in the land. Real talk, faith walk. Real talking. Faith walking. Saving souls one laugh at a time. We want to help you live life without limitations and stand on faith. Like, tag, share, invite. It only takes one. Now, without further ado, here's your host, Pastor Glenn Monk Pollard.
But the end of the situation, with 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 the end of the situation, blame the man for cheating and stepping out and saying that he ain't shit. Oh, excuse my French. He ain't nothing. He ain't this, he ain't that. I don't want to be with him no more because he did this. But we got to also look at ourselves. What did you do?
Real quick, let me pause you real quick because apparently there was no sound yet again. I want to welcome you all to Real Talk Faith Walk, episode 21. I'm going to have to go back and edit this video. Welcome. Y'all up, we're up. I just said this probably 3 times. We are here talking about Battle of the Sexes. We were sitting here celebrating Danielle's birthday. And we were just talking, we were having a conversation amongst each other. And there was some really good stuff that we talked about, some really good stuff that we touched on. And I felt like it was good for you guys as well as ourselves. It is 6 women in the room and it's only 2 men. So Kevin's gonna jump in. Hopefully he was over there yawning. I don't know if y'all saw it on the camera. I think it caught him, but he was yawning. But again, like I said, I'm up, y'all up, they're up. Let's talk about this thing. Sha was giving her perspective on cheating. All right, and now we're gonna go right back into it. Hopefully you don't mind starting over if you remember what you said.
I know.
But I noticed that the sound meter wasn't going.
What
but
I
we
said
live.
was,
We good.
sometimes us as women, we got to take accountability for the things that we give into a relationship as well. We blame the man always when it comes to cheating. He cheated on me, he did this, he did that. But sometimes we got to look at ourselves. Before a man cheat, he always gives you a warning sign. The warning sign is, babe, when I come home, I want to get a little back rubs here and there. Babe, I like when you cook that spaghetti sometimes for me. But you stop and you lie in those things. You don't do it no more. Because the same things that you got him with, you don't feel like you got to keep that up. But we don't understand it. We got to do 10 times more. 10 times more in order to keep him. So then once he started complaining about the things that you used to do, that you don't do, and you still don't pick up and do the things that he asking you, it ain't even about telling you. Some people got that, it ain't about being submissive to a wrong nigga. You married a man. That's what you choose, right? You choose that, right? So when you choose that, and the man telling you that you ain't doing what he needs you to do, and you still not fulfilling his needs for what he need you to do, and he step out there and do what he want to do, now he becoming a problem. When you need to resurface, get back in grips with you, because he warned you, he asked you, he said, over amount of time, I need this, and you never felt the needs.
Give it a second.
So now I'm supposed to sit here, and I'm supposed to endure the things you, all men ain't cheaters because they just want to be cheaters. Sometimes us as women, we push them to be just that. Because if I'm not getting from you, and that saying is so cliche, it's crazy. It's so cliche, it's crazy. If I'm not getting it from you, I'm going to get it from somebody else. But what I'm saying is, truly, that is really what it is. If I can't get the happiness from you, then I'm going to find my happiness within myself and through somebody else. Am I supposed to be unhappy because you choose not to do what you signed up to do? Because you signed up for that. Everybody wants the title of being a wife. But what is a wife? What is a wife? It ain't the woman that's holding a man's hand and saying we just married and holy matrimony. No. It's a lot of vows that goes in between that. It's a lot of meanings that go in between that. But the moment the man step out, and I'm going to come back to y'all ladies. The moment that the man step out and do what he want to do because you ain't did what you was supposed. Yeah. Because when you get in that committed relationship, you're supposed to do that. The moment you don't do what you're supposed to do, he get criticized, downgraded, disrespected. Let's reverse it. The moment he don't do what he's supposed to do, we get upbrung. Talked about in a good laughter. Baby, you supposed to do what you supposed to do. If I get, excuse me, forget him. We ain't worried about him no more. Girl, move on with your life. Do what you want to do. You getting lifted. But it's the same thing that he went through. But he get discouraged. In his spirit, he now discouraged. Because now, it's a problem for him to do what makes him happy. But it's embraced when we do what we want to do. I'm not saying a woman is always a problem. I'm just saying, before you sit there and point that finger, remember 3. Point right back at you. Fix you.
You want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, bring the mic up.
Yeah, I do. I do want to chime in. She talks about basically leaving your husband to be vulnerable or your mate to be vulnerable. I'm going to say husband because I live by biblical principles and marriage is honorable in the eyesight of God. So that's where I'm going to speak from. But she talked about leaving your husband vulnerable. A lot of women of this generation, one, are, I would have to say, damaged.
Programmed.
They're damaged.
Yeah.
And when you have men that are damaged and then you have a woman that's damaged, you have the blind basically leading the blind.
That's right.
It is very important to acknowledge, one, that you're damaged, understand and find out what damaged you.
That's right.
And then now that you have acknowledged it, now you can change it.
But how about being programmed?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can be programmed in a situation that we seen failed relationships, failed marriages, and we don't know nothing else but to follow through with what we seen. And so you learn that and you embrace it, not because you want to,
Because you don't know nothing else.
you know nothing better.
So then in a moment like that, I would say you will have to pray and ask God to send you people to be able to help you acknowledge that. I think that comes with the self-evaluation, because what happens is that if even with program or learned behavior, if you continuously live a certain way and do something else and you notice at some point that the outcome is continuously being the same and that outcome is not working in your favor, now you have to now backtrack. It's a dysfunctional person that will continue to
backtrack
live.
when you don't know nothing different, though.
Right. But you may not know nothing different because of the cycle, but you know the outcome. And because
Sometimes
you see
you
the
don't.
outcome.
Because sometimes people put it in their head that
Yeah.
that happened to you, but it would not happen to me.
Right.
So we sometimes falsify. Am I using the right word? We falsify, and we get into a way that we get in our own way. Because our own better understanding is telling us that we don't need that. We should not do that. But sometimes we get so confused by what we've been taught. But it ain't even sometimes, let me backtrack. It ain't even always what you've been taught. It's what you have seen and acknowledged and embraced, and you think that's the normal because you know nothing else. So sometimes we can get in our own way by our own teaching, because that's still a teaching, even if we know that it's not wrong.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah, I understand.
So we get in our own way of not understanding what love feels, because it's all about love. And when you don't know love, you can't give love.
That's right.
Because you don't understand what love is truly about.
Or not even just not understanding what love is about, but your perception of love. Some people's love is abuse. Some people's love is dysfunction.
That's right.
Some people's love is not having balance.
That's
very
right.
unstable. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all of
Go
his ways.
off.
So if you're
Go
a
off.
double-minded person and you have no direction, you have no way of finding out if that's even what love really is.
That's right.
It's all about your perception. Unfortunately, it comes to a point where we really have to pray and ask God to send us somebody that will help us see
That's
where
right.
this trauma becomes. Because
That's right.
majority of the time,
But
you
half
have
of the times
little
you
kids.
already know what a trauma becomes.
Yeah, most of
within you.
this generation is, guess what?
You already know.
They are little girls and little boys in grown people's bodies.
Absolutely.
You got
Break that down for them, though.
What I'm saying is,
Break that down
you have
for
the
'em.
age of a grown person. You have the years and maybe even have the history of a grown person. You have grown people experiences, but your mindset is of a child.
Because that means wisdom has not yet kicked in.
Age does not denote wisdom.
I'm going to tell you
Come
something.
on now.
I'm 40 years old.
How that baba?
Age does not denote wisdom.
I'm 40 years old. And I can sit here and I can talk to you with the best knowledge and wisdom that I can ever give. Because I lived it.
Yeah.
I talk about nothing but anything else that I lived through. So when I give you what I got, it ain't me giving
It's
you
hot
this
off the
and
press.
wasting. I don't even want to waste my time giving you the knowledge and the power that I have, because if you're not going to utilize it in the correct way, there's no reason for me to say nothing else.
Yeah.
But you know that from the beginning. Huh? We get in touch with ourselves. By the age of 35, I promise every last one of y'all, if I'm 40 years old, I'm older than everybody sitting at this table. I'm older than everybody sitting at this table. I have been through things that your eyes could not imagine. I don't care how many kids you have. I don't care how many circumstances you... I am 40 years old. I have been through things that I can sit at this table right now that will shed tears in everybody's eyes. But there's a prophecy. Because God told me when I went through everything that I went through, that I never went through it for myself. I didn't go through all the hardship. I didn't go through the pain. I didn't go through the worrying, the stress. How is it me? I never did none of that for me. And it took somebody, and I say her name out loud and proud, Monique Graham Bailey, told me that everything that you are going through right now is not for you. It's for you to share your testimony to somebody else, to give that. You're not going through this for you. It's for the next sister. It's for the next brother. But I asked her, I said, why God chose me? She said, but why not? You hear me? Because I'm strong.
But you went through all of that.
I'm strong.
You went through all of that. You had to endure the process.
I had to.
But
I had to accept it.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
That's the main thing. I had to accept it.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
That's right.
Because there's a difference between listening and hearing. Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but am I listening? See, I listened to what she said to me. And when she told me that I wasn't going through what I was going through for myself, but I was going through it for anybody that was put in front of my face, it took me to another level, a place that I can never come from. I've been through some things. And everybody here ain't got a story. Ain't nobody's story bigger than nobody's. But the main thing of it all is when you get in tune with who you are, and when you accept,
and that's
when you
whose you are,
when you accept all of the good and the bad and everything else that may come to you, that right there, what's making your fist a mighty blow.
And you gotta be able to listen, and that's majority of the problem for this generation is we don't want to listen. And even with experiences, even with enduring things or going through things, that does not denote having the answer to everything. Because even as you grow, you have to remain humble and remain teachable. Because there may come a point in time where you reach something, even after 40, even after 50, that you've never experienced before. And then the other part is that your parents or your grandparents have never experienced before. So this is something hot off the press. This is something that you really gotta find out who God is for yourself. And this is something that you really gotta find the method on your own. So what happens when nobody has the method? You're traumatized, you're abused, you're hurt, you're in a cycle, and nobody has the method. What do you do when nobody has the method?
Jesus.
The only thing left to do, as for me, and I'm not making it about religion, but as for me, I only have one person. I only got one person to turn to, and that's the Almighty.
There's nobody else.
And there's absolutely nobody else that you can turn to that's gonna have the answer. Because sometimes your experiences and your process is not the answer for my experiences and my process.
That's it.
Because how Danny endured hers was how Danny endured hers. How Glenn came out of his was how Glenn, and when you are a mother,
every situation has its own set.
When you are a mom and you got multiple children, no one method works for each one of my children. I have a different disciplinarian method that works for them. How I can go at Cameron is not how I can approach Kyra.
Talk about it.
Because if I go at Kyra with Cameron's approach, I'll abuse Kyra. And what Cameron will come through and survive, Kyra will be damaged mentally.
That's right.
So you have to understand the
You-
wisdom
you
and the
preaching.
knowledge.
You
You,
don't even know
gotta
it.
understand that not every method works for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. I'm grateful. I don't mind listening, but sometimes people are not listening because they don't want to hear it. They're not hearing it because they just know it doesn't work for them. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I could tell Glenn, oh Glenn, I was a mom at 17. I've been involved in this. I've been involved in that. I won't release that personally over the live. But if I was to do my own one, I would. But I've been through this. I've been a teenage mom. I've been through this. I've been with men. I've been with all of that stuff. And the girl across from me may be doing the same thing. But what I possessed at 20 was something she didn't know about.
That's right.
And my what I could fall back on was something she had no knowledge about.
That's right.
I fell back on God. She didn't know who God was.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So you gotta be grateful, and you have to pray and ask the Almighty to send you people that will help you, because you are no good to anybody until you are
gotta
some good to
decipher.
yourself.
Jesus.
But you gotta also decipher.
You got to.
You gotta decipher through the few.
You
'Cause
do.
I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes people come into your life and they will be a blind side, and they will act like they are who they are, and they will show you who they want you to be, and they will make you believe that's what that is, and you'll fall into that trap, not because you're weak, but because you giving me everything. But you gotta also remember, as a prophet, that's what they were supposed to do. Because God said even the devil was in disguise. So God was even blinded. Jesus was even blinded by the things that he could do. He sung in a choir. You hear me? So the same man that sung to us is the same man that we are walking away from. You hear me? But I'm going to tell you something else. Be not so in tune with what you see. Be careful by what you hear. And be more careful by what you see. And if y'all ain't understanding, I'm going to give y'all anybody feel me?
The Bible says even your very eyes could deceive you.
Thank you.
Meaning I
There
can look
it
at
is.
Kyra.
There it is.
I can look
Pick
at
me
Danny.
Pick me
I
up.
could look at Danny and I could really believe that Danny
Be
has on a
careful.
green dress. But in all actuality, it could
Because
be
I
blue
got
the whole time.
I got some of the ones that told you they was one of my strongest leaders that will talk to you and prophesize to you and tell you that I am that, but they not. And let me tell you another thing. 1 second. That's another reason why people running away from the church, because they see, because they hear. They don't see it or hear it from God, but they go in that church and they sit there and they listen to everything that pastor's saying. One moment the pastor say one thing. What we talking about? Hold up, pastor. Huh? Sometimes you gotta be careful. God said, I will not hold you accountable for the things that you do not know. But it is your job. It is your job to find out the false prophets. Because everybody scream Jesus and scream God is not of me. Huh?
They don't. And the Bible says that gifts and callings come without repentance.
Hear me?
So guess
Come on,
what?
Pastor.
And the Bible also says that if a good word come out of a hellish man's mouth, you should take heed.
Go ahead.
So you can't even disqualify,
'Cause
because
God
in
took-
that case, if the pastor says something
Talk about
wrong
the rapists.
and you disqualify them,
yeah.
then that means that
Talk about the
nobody
rapists.
has the right to
Talk
say
about
anything.
the rapists. Talk about the rapist. Talk about the man that's in jail. Talk about the one that was cheating on the Jezebels, the whoremongers.
And guess what?
God
And
ain't
God will use
God
them.
ain't counting them out.
We count them out,
Yeah,
but he doesn't.
he doesn't.
He doesn't. And that's been on the journey of actually having the love of Christ, the love of God. You have to make sure that your heart is in a position to love all people.
That's right.
You have to be sure that your heart is in a position, one, to do a self-evaluation and understand that you want somebody to love you.
That's right.
And if you've lied, which we all have, if you've done something, which we all have, if you said something intentionally, which we've all have,
Exactly.
we like to We like for people to give us grace, but we don't like to extend that same grace.
That's go off.
We like it's so easy for me to point at Danny and say, Danny, this is what you shouldn't do. But when the mirror or the camera is turned on Ryan, when I'm in the hot seat, can I handle the heat? Can I handle the pressure? Or am I going to try to be justifiable instead of taking the L? Some things cannot be justified.
Exactly.
You have to see where you're wrong at, acknowledge it. Yes, move forward.
And that's the biggest part.
And understand the weight that it holds.
What was the biggest part?
Acknowledge. And understand the weight of what you did.
No, I want to hear it again. What was the biggest part?
You got to acknowledge.
That's the biggest fucking part. I mean,
but how do you acknowledge when you don't think you have a problem? Most people with an addiction think everybody else is the problem. It takes the process.
Come on.
And the endurance of a destiny helper.
That's
some good, some bad, but you need both of them to get to destiny. You need the good and you need the bad.
Glory.
But sometimes people will dwell on let me say something. A person can sometimes justify their bad so viciously that they'll try to make you believe that demon that's in them,
manipulation.
Yeah, that the demon that's in them should be upon you.
A narcissist.
And you got to step back for a second. But one thing you don't do is get into a combative situation with them. No. You step back and you fall back. And listen. No. Listen. You sit back and you let them do that. You say, okay, I hear you.
Don't become a part of it.
Listen, me cousin.
Yeah,
you sit back and you let them do that. You say, you feel that way?
Right.
Yeah, because I gave you all that. Everything that I gave you that was positive, all you took from it was the negative. So the moment that you did that right there with me is the moment that I knew that I should have stepped back, minded my business, and moved to another subject. Because sometimes you can't get through to everybody.
You can't.
You can't sit around people and sit there and give them, and you can come from your blood, sweat, and tears. You can give them everything that you have inside you. And you tell them, look, listen. They listening with their ears. You ever heard this? Anybody here? This is what I'm saying. You ever heard this saying? You can listen with your ears, but not with your heart. That means your soul didn't feel it.
That's right.
So if I tell you something, you say, let me say, you brush me off. But if you listen to it, and I know this by him, when I tell this brother something, one thing about him, if I tell him something, he gonna sit, he gonna listen. He gonna feel it. But when I'm wrong, what he did to me tonight, and we ain't gonna do it on the podcast, but I don't got no problem with that. I said something to him that made me feel like, sis, you not listening to me. You not listening to what I'm saying. I'm giving it to you, sis, but you're not listening. I wasn't a listener. I take all accountability for that.
I'll praise God.
Because my brother was hurting. And sometimes you gotta get out yourself.
That's right.
You gotta, you feel what I said?
And just listen.
You got to listen and come about what you think.
That's right.
And let that man or that woman say what they feel.
Yeah.
I went too far and too deep into it by the little bit that he gave me.
Yeah.
He said, my sister not on this level with me right now. So let me step back. And I respect it. Mad a little bit. But I respect it. I respect it because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that. So we got to take accountability for the things that we do that bring certain things out of other people. And and that's why I brought it around like that.
Real quick. Jump back and say that again. We got to take what?
We got to take accountability for the things that we sometimes bring out of other people.
You want to know what's crazy? I want you to get to your time, what you was about to say. But when you said that, it brought up something. I just had a conversation with somebody, and I said, you really got to think, because this is bad order sexist, you really got to sit back and think about, like, when you're in a relationship and the relationship goes south, right? we are quick to blame the other person.
Go off.
I think we touched on it in the beginning.
Yeah.
But we're quick to blame the other person, not realizing, or not sitting back and saying, dang, well, what did I do? Because even if you the innocent party, there could have been something that you did that provoked me to do what it is that I did.
And
you might have withheld sex. You might have withheld, you didn't cook, you didn't clean. You know what I mean? So as a man, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago on another episode, as a man, we're sexual creatures, right? Am I right, Kevin? So here's the thing. If the woman that we're with is lacking in the area and we find it with someone else, this now becomes my piece, right? Because I can escape from what I'm getting right here or what I'm not getting right here, and I can go here and get it. Go ahead, Ryan.
I want you to know that leads me into a wife.
He got deep.
But no, that leads into what I wanted to touch on.
Oh, good.
So I looked up a wife.
Okay. And I wanted to ask in the beginning, what is a wife?
So of course, I got that point in my head.
But didn't I say that?
So
what is a wife?
The definition of a wife, according to Google, says a married woman considered in a relation to her spouse. Hold on. It goes down to the Scottish. It says a woman, especially an old or uneducated one.
Ooh.
So the odds are already against you when you come into covenant. The odds are already against you when you come into covenant. So how damaging could it really, really be if the odds are against you? You're already supposed to be not educated. You're already supposed to not know what your purpose is. You're already not supposed to be all together. You're already supposed to be an accident or an incident. You're not supposed to be who this man made you to be.
Right.
You're already not supposed to be.
Disagree.
But I'm not speaking.
No.
I'm speaking according to definition.
Nah, but that definition is
wrong.
So
absolutely. So it says a wife is a female in a marital relationship. A woman who has separated from her partner continues to be a wife until the marriage is legally dissolved with the divorce judgment.
Let me tell you what a wife was to be. A wife is the rib that God made man when Adam laid down and felt like he should not be alone.
Right.
You hear me? The wife is the one when the man go out there and work every day and make sure he provide for his family and his children, that no matter what he goes through, we supposed to be there standing by him 10 toes down.
Yeah, help me.
I don't need you, but I want you. I'm not gonna let you fall, because the moment that your head feel like it's tilting, I'm gonna pick that bitch up. Excuse me.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Y'all excuse me.
I'm gonna pick it up.
I can't bleep out everything.
I'm gonna pick that up. So it's nothing that you may need, because the moment that you thirsty, my throat is scorched.
Of course.
The moment that you hungry, my stomach growl. Hey, I'm not gonna walk behind you. I'll walk beside you.
But how do you get to that point?
I'll never get in front of you.
You gotta get to that point.
I'll tell you.
Right.
I'll tell you. How you get to that point? Because you cannot love and be infatuated by your mate. You got to like them.
Mm-hmm. Before you get
you
to
gotta
that,
understand them.
You gotta have
it in your mind that this is it, and everything that man say nor do. I'm not being no slave. I'm not being I'm gonna do yassa. No. I'm gonna take care of you when you can't take care of yourself.
Right.
Once you got that man in your mind and you know that that's it, that's all you need. Yep. And that's all you gonna work and live for. Yep. Baby, ain't nothing gonna come between that.
Right.
It ain't no teaching. It ain't no book. It ain't nothing to read about. Cause I got you. Cause I know you got me. Yeah. Hear me? I did this thing for 20-something years. I'm 40 years old. When I got with my first love, I was 15. I rode with him all the way until I was 33. This man did me wrong, not because I deserved it. Until this day, he'll sit right in front of you and tell you that. I messed up with. I gave him everything. I cooked, I cleaned, took care of the kids, went to the PCA meetings. I worked, I provided. All them houses, them cars, all that shit. Stuff that was in my name. I did that. You hear me? I never let that man ever want or need for nothing. And that right there, sitting here, can testify to it. It ain't always about what you give, baby. It's about what you get back. I was everything that he needed me to be. Not because you molded me, because it was inside me. I was raised right. And when you got me, you couldn't take care of me. You couldn't handle me. Financial money, no amount of money that he could give me was never the bid that I gave him with the love, the trust, the honesty, the loyalty. You hear me? He couldn't pay me back with that. The only thing that your uncle can say to you in your face is that I messed up and I lost the best thing that ever walked in my life. That is when you know. And I ain't even need that to know it. I knew I was a good woman. I knew I never did nothing wrong. You hear me? So sometimes it ain't about that.
No. But
it's about the hardship.
But you have to get to that point. That's a point that you get to.
Ryan, listen to me again.
Ryan,
listen to me again.
Hold on. That you have to get to that point. You can have that mindset and not have.
Y'all not listening.
I hear you.
Hold on.
I'm listening to you. But there's also a process. That was you in your process. But what do you say to the girl that meets her first love
had y'all problems,
and have to work towards that?
You didn't know that you was gonna murder that woman, right? You didn't know that. But when your heart felt, a man knows when his heart is there. Us as women, we fall deeply in love so quickly, and sometimes we do it for the wrong reasons. But a man, I'm talking to a man right now. You knew when you was at the point in your life when this is it. I don't need nothing else. Cause this woman showed me what? What she showed you? Come close.
Even with me knowing that was the person I was supposed to marry, I had to still find the process.
There you go.
To execute it, to being that husband that I needed to be, that man I needed to be. Because I've been so used to being a single man, having a single mentality. Also, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I became an adult, I put away child's things. But guess what? It was a process. From being a child to becoming an adult. He just didn't grow up overnight.
That's right.
That's right.
And men and women, they may be mommies at a young age, but they're not women. Because any female can have a child.
Can birth a child.
That's what y'all on birth.
Come on,
that's what
sir.
y'all meant on earth to be. But it takes a woman to be a mom.
Doing what I say.
So, and it's a process to all of it. Nothing happens overnight. With men, women, doesn't matter. Even with pets. My dog, when I first got her, she wasn't as big as she is now. She wasn't as aggressive. But as time grew and she's gotten older, she's going into, I guess, her quote-unquote woman's thing. It's just with all of us. And, you can't despise process.
You can't despise process.
You cannot despise process. Sometimes process is uncomfortable.
Somebody put that in the chat.
And when you get out your comfort zone.
You can't despise the process.
It pushes you to be out your comfort zone. Because
you
it's
get out
something,
your comfort
you're not really used to.
They like being stuck in what they used to. They like they like
you said everything I was saying. Yeah, get my
bring it right there. You go.
They just that's the thing. They like dealing with it. I'm pretty sure the youngest in the generation. I know I'm the youngest at the table. Females my age, they not being brought up on how my mother was brought up. They not being brought up to care for a man and know how to treat a man and love a man. All they want is what they can get from somebody. They're not willing to give. That's why relationships don't last, or that's why they are single mothers, or they are going through the things that they're going through. One, because everybody don't get the same love as a child.
That's
Everybody's
right.
love is different. If my mother didn't love me as a child, I have to learn how to love when I'm growing up. I gotta learn for myself what real love is.
That's right.
But if you're being shown what love is as a child and how to take care of a man as a child, when you get a certain age, you know what it is to keep a man, or to cater to a man, or to satisfy someone, rather than somebody who was never taught that. It takes longer for them to actually go through the process, as well as males. All males are not brought up on how to deal with their emotions, or
That's right.
how to talk about how they really feel. So when they get in relationships, things don't last because they're so used to being shut out or being taught that a man is not supposed to show their emotions. A man
Not supposed to cry.
Yes, a man is
Not supposed to show feelings. That's
and
right.
That's why relationships are the way they are now. That's why marriages don't last, and why people are the way they are, because people do.
A lot of times marriages don't last because of selfishness.
People, they don't love for the right reasons. Mainly females. Females that are not being brought up a certain type of way go off of what I can get and who I look best with, instead of actually getting to know a person and trying to understand a person. You can't just jump into a relationship and be like, oh, I'm gonna get this, that, and the third. That's something you have to build.
That's right.
A lot of females don't understand that. A lot of young females.
Oh, they-
young females.
I should have said this is the best
And they come.
generation.
No, seriously.
That's
right.
My mother was raised by her grandmother. She was taught to cook and clean and to take care of a man. So that's what I seen as a child, rather than to someone who wasn't brought up on that way.
That's right.
People becoming grandmothers way too young. So they're not taught how to actually love a man and treat a man. They're in relationships where they don't want to be in, or it's like, oh well, I'm with him because of the kids, or I'm with him because he can do this, that, and the third, instead of actually knowing what real love is.
There you go.
And
I like
what the
that.
issue is. Everybody don't know what
I
real
like
love
that.
is. They try to find love in all the wrong reasons, and
I like that young
that's why my
baby.
generation is corrupted.
I like that young baby.
Most times it's a lack.
I like that young baby.
It's a lack of love.
I do.
It's a lack of exposure. If you don't, you can have a mommy, but if you don't have most things, a little girl needs a dad.
That's
I
it.
don't care what you say. When you do not have a father, you encounter things that you should never encounter. Because if daddy doesn't show,
sometimes you encounter it even if you have a dad.
yeah, I know, but I'm speaking of majority of this generation. They have rebellion because they don't want to listen. That's true. It's a lot of it is self-inflicted, and then a lot of it is because it's a generational curse. My grandma raised my mom, and then my mommy had me, and then her mommy raised me. You see where I'm going with it? And then guess what? And then she has you, and you have a baby, and then grandma raises yours, then she raises yours, and the cycle keeps going on and on and on. And where do you find the father? Well, we don't see fathers because we have bitter women that won't accept the fact that you can have a baby and not have a relationship.
Yeah. Because the moment that the man don't want to be with them,
you feel like that he don't want you.
Yeah,
no,
the moment
he
that the man don't want to be with them, they now want to take it out.
Then you want to take the baby. You want to take the baby and dangle the baby in the face. So then you grow up. Then you got my baby right here, or not saying it. I'm just using it for an example. Or you got my baby over there growing up, and then who he knows as daddy is not even daddy.
But let me tell you something.
You see what I'm saying?
With that situation,
that's a cycle.
With that situation, it's poison.
It is.
It's poison because you poison your child. Not only to accept
you do more damage.
not
Than
only
you.
to accept the serpent that you inbreeded in them, but now they live on and they do the same thing that they say.
And guess what? It don't matter what you do. It don't matter what you can give to a child monetarily.
Come on, tell it.
My kids, I thought that they wanted Jordans and Vans. I got on Afterpay, just being transparent. Bought $100 shoes. I got $100 Air Maxes. My son won't even put on. Jordans he wanted to sell, and Vans he didn't even know they were Vans. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you can give a child monetarily. The best thing to my kids is that they have mommy and that they have daddy. And if I'm there with $1, they okay with they would rather stay in my home with no food than go to a house full of food because they just want to be with mommy and daddy. That's it.
And that's exactly what I was about to say.
It's not about material things.
Kids
it's not
don't
about
give a
that.
fuck if you got the biggest house, the biggest.
They don't care.
If you can give them this and the
We
third.
could be a hole in the wall.
I sat there with my kids, all 4 of my kids.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. Let me give a disclaimer. First and foremost, everybody on here is not. I'm the only pastor in the room. Let's be very clear. And Elder over here. If you're offended by any language or anything, just go ahead and chime off, because this is the realest real talk is gonna get, and it's gonna continue to go this way from future episodes. So if you're sensitive to the language, just go ahead and chime off, because I'm not gonna have anybody censor what they want to say, because we're trying to be real. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But as I was saying, you get people that grow up and they don't have a village.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna go back to what we was talking about.
I know, but I'm going back to like the fact that you get people that grow up. You get grown people now, because the original statement was you have grown people who with age, with history, but they're little people in their mind. And that happens because somewhere along the developmental process, their growth was stunted because of lack of people that was needed to be in their life. I believe, and this is just my belief.
Because you gotta say that again.
Sometimes you have people like that. They go through that because they have a lack in the process of their development. Their growth is stunted because they don't have who and what they need.
Go on.
And I'm a little, and this may come off a little harsh. I want you to hear my heart, not my verbiage. I teach my children that everybody got a sad story. We've all been through something. So even in whatever you've encountered, there's only but so much sympathy I'm going to grant to you. Because the reality of life is nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, they'll hear you. We'll give you the resources we can give you. We'll love on you. We'll teach you as much as we can. But I cannot take you where you don't want to go.
Brother, is that little show?
Listen.
I cannot take you where you do not want to go.
Say too much.
I teach my son, one day you're going to wake up and I'm not going to be here. One day you're going to wake up and I'm not going to be here. All you're going to have is the teaching that I've given you. What happens when your children wake up and they can't find you? You have to teach them. They have to be able to have some substance to hold on to. And we don't have that. Why don't we have that? Because, again, let's go back to the cycle. Grandma raised her, and then she becomes a grandma, and she's raising yours. And then you become a grandma, and you're raising your grandchild. And where's mommy? Nobody's a mom. Everybody's a woman. We got our big girl drawers on.
The word woman for we can't give out the word woman. We can't give out the word woman.
By nature, I'm saying by everybody's a female, but nobody's a mom.
Yeah.
Nobody's a mom and nobody's a dad.
Because a lot of people have kids, females have kids because they want to keep the nigga.
Yeah.
It ain't got the man. I'm gonna clean it up. They don't want to be mothers.
No.
They just want to trap the man to make sure we locked into him.
And then you know what gets me upset? I won't go chime in. What gets me upset is when a mother, and I know personally somebody, I can't stand when a mother blames the child because the child looks like the father. I cannot stand that. Because the thing is, that child is yours.
That's a personal demon.
It is.
That's a personal
like
demon.
that. I know one of my, my ex boss.
But that's a personal demon.
The mom didn't want the children because they looked too much like the father.
But she was tormenting herself.
Absolutely. Like how all my kids, they look like me, but they look like their dad. I wish I would not.
All my kids look like their father.
I don't want you because you look like
and my brother can attest to that. All my kids look like my baby father. I always said they look like me until you beat them. But all my kids look like my baby father. The thing is this. When I got with that man, and I told him, I said, it don't matter what we go through. If you don't want me and I don't want you, and we breaking up or shit ain't right, all that, I'm never going to take you off of child support because of the spite. Right. The only way I would take you off of child support is you truly not doing nothing for my kids. You said you were stepping out this relationship because you did not want me. I said I stepped out because I did not want you. That had nothing to do with our children.
Come on.
So for you to sit here and play with a nigga like that off of, you don't want to be with me? I'm going to take him out of child support. I said, I had a girlfriend, and I ain't friend. Shannon, it's you. Yeah. Hope you see this podcast. Yes, her. And I'm definitely.
You talking about don't worry
Cubbage.
about it. No.
And I'm not going to sit it. Yeah, it was her. I just can't put my let me get back.
Talk, baby.
Yeah, because they trying to get me. I was trying to be good.
Go ahead, baby.
The thing is, I told her, we were sitting there talking. She said, Ty acting like he don't want to be with me no more. Yeah, I'm calling names. I don't care. And he gonna act like he gonna leave. but I'm gonna take him out for child support. So he go, I say, why? Because he don't want to be with you. Is the reason why you want to take him out for child support? When y'all was together, everything was cool. Now he saying I want to be with you. You want to take him out for... Nah, get the... I mean, don't do that.
You know what my grandma taught me? My grandma taught me, Gloria Jean Jackson. She taught me I was awarded the opportunity to stay the night with her before I got married. And I went in the room and I sat on the bed and she said, you listen to me. You couldn't hear a pin drop. She said, you never underestimate a scorned woman.
Oh.
And I waited and I didn't, and I said, no, grandma. And I began to tell her a few things and I said, no, it's fine and it's cool. And she said, you hear what I'm saying? She said, you never underestimate a scorned woman. Little did I know, 5 years later, I met a scorned woman. She was scorned all the time. Let me tell you something. You never underestimate a scorned woman. That's when you come into the battle of the sexes, because men, y'all have to be mindful and not ignore the red flags that you see in a woman. If they're lying, if they're a liar already, what makes you think that when you put a baby in them, they won't lie and play you?
Even so,
if they're already a liar.
No.
Because I want to take the heat off the. I want to take the heat off the women, because guess what? Y'all gotta be accountable to what the signs that y'all see. No, hear me, baby. Men see red flags like we do, but they talk with their dick and not with their mind.
Not always the man that comes with his heart. It's a whole nother situation.
Even with the good heart. My husband has the best heart. My husband has the best heart. But he ain't crazy. Now he been crazy. Because he didn't know she was scorned either.
I've met both. You can't blame a man for sometimes.
No blaming.
Okay, I'm going to give you my story.
All right, baby. Come on.
You cannot blame a man for sometimes as us as women, how we are manipulative. Yeah. We are that.
We got it.
We are that.
Come on.
And I ain't gonna sit here.
Look at Delilah.
I'm not no motherfucker one-sided.
Hey.
Oh. I ain't no one-sided person. I ain't no one-sided person that's gonna sit here and just be women.
No.
Because I'm a woman.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Us as women, we have a power that can sit there and go over a man's top, even with his better judgment. I did it.
We could persuade a nation.
I did it.
So I was great. So I just went through it.
Go ahead, Pat.
We're not gonna do that.
I just went through it.
I just want to lay that down.
It's crazy because
I just had to lay that down. We're not gonna do that because I did it.
I gotta touch on what Ryan said about men ignore red. I mean, we see the red flag just like women does, and that is absolutely true. So with a man, and Kevin, tell me if I'm wrong, but with a man, we just like y'all want to say, oh, I want to see the good in him. It's the same way for us.
I just say
we want to see the good in the woman. But going through what I just went through, man, I would never ignore a red flag again. Because what happens is you like, okay, maybe she's doing that because that's what she's used to, or that's what she had to do in her previous relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And then you begin to realize that this is how that individual really is, right? So every situation, you manipulate the situation. So hold on. Yeah. So y'all got to hear a little snippet of that. When
you gotta go back and say, it's been like, not saying this individual has been with these people, but what I'm saying is, it's been multiple men that has been with you. And every multiple man that has been with you has stepped away. But every last man has been with that same individual, which is you. So sometimes we gotta take accountability for what we do. Because you are the one that has been with everybody else. All them other men ain't been with nobody else you've been with. They've been with you, and they all treated you the same. So who are you?
But see, I was getting to that. But
am I lying?
No. That's 100% correct.
Most of the time, God will bring us people that's just like us. And majority of the time, what happens is, and it's not a rebuke, it's all love. Majority of the time, what happens is, He gives us a mirror, and we start dealing with ourselves.
Man, listen.
We down.
Listen, Yes, we do. Yes, we do. No, listen. Hold on.
I'm feeling that.
I'm gonna hit on that one
Say
real
it
quick.
again. Say it.
Because
Say it again. She want to hear it again.
I said a lot of times what happens is we attract what we are, and
That's
what happens
true.
is we come in contact, whether it be good or whether it be bad, with people that have the same characteristics as we do, and it becomes a challenge to actually face off with you and somebody else.
But what I want you to understand is that I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm telling you that everything you said was right. But it's not because we face off with ourselves. It's because we get comfortable. We have now came into a place where we are comfortable with what we are used to seeing. And when you show me that, I say, okay, this is all right. This is okay. But it's not okay. Because it's the same combative situation that you was in the last time, but he did it different. Yeah. So now you don't recognize it because you're now yearning for the love that you did not get in the beginning. So you gravitate towards it because it's now what? A comfortable situation.
But see, what you gotta be careful with.
We're comfortable.
Am I lying?
No, you're not lying. But let me say this real quick. We gotta be careful when we meet an individual, right? And you be so quick to want to get to know somebody, you begin to share things about yourself that's intimate, right? So what a person will begin to do is they will, come on now,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh my God, like,
But it's rules to that. That's why let me tell y'all something. Let me talk for 2 seconds. I'm gonna give y'all the situation. When you get in a relationship, or not in a relationship, when you meet somebody, one of the things that they say to you, and I know all of us heard it, was, what do you like to do? So why should I tell you what I need or want when you are a man or a woman? So you should figure that out on your own. Why am I telling you what I want? Because if I do that, then you're going to do exactly what I said, and you're going to be a fraud and be who you not. You're going to be who I said. And so I don't need you to be who I said. I need you to be who the fuck you are. I need you to be who you are.
y'all forgive us.
And the moment that you don't be who you are, me as a woman, I'm going to step back and I'm going to pay attention. But I also know the frauds when they try to be what I said. That's why when a man asks me, what you like to do for fun? Whatever you like to do.
Coming to America.
What's your attractions? What you want? Whatever you like to do.
Whatever you like.
Yeah, because I'm never going to tell you all of that. Because the moment that I tell you that, you'll be that person. I don't want you to be that person. I want to be I want you to be who you are. And that person, even if you tried. Because we all fake. We all put a little situation up where we be a little in front of somebody. But the real you will always surface. That's why what you get is what you see. And that's who the fuck, who I am. Sorry, people. Send me the bed.
You said something, you said that you don't want to tell the individual what you like because you think that they'll do and be that person, right?
That's what they do.
But you also said that you can feed through BS, like you can tell when it's real when it's not.
That's right.
Sometimes, well, for me, as a man, I often ask, so I'm like, what is it that you like?
Show wife.
Now, even before we got married, I did. When we was just dating, I used to want to find out, not because I'm being fraud, because I'm gonna give you what you like in my own way.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? Because I still want to see you happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's vice versa. I want you to make me happy in your own way.
That's
I don't
right.
want you to be oblivious and just do stuff that I don't like because that's going to irritate me.
Yeah.
That's going to make me
Right.
not attracted to you. Now we got another problem. You see what I'm saying? So it is good to be able to detect from a woman perspective, okay, he's doing it just because he's the one to get my drawers or, or, okay, he's really been a genuine guy. Like, he really wants to make me happy.
But also, when a man comes into a woman's perspective, let me tell you something. It's the difference between a boy meeting a female. It's the difference between a man meeting a woman. See, a man already knows what brings a smile to a woman's face. He may say, "What do you like to do for fun?" And I'll say, "I like to."
From a general
I
perspective,
say, "I like to
pretty much
look
know
at
what makes women
happy."
So want to know what, like Joe said in that song.
Exactly.
I want to know what makes you cry. I need to know those things.
Thank
Not
you.
so that I can
Thank
do
you.
it. Now I'm not going to.
But don't tell me. Don't ask me what it is that you like it. And like, what you want. No. I get the fact that you want to understand who I am as a woman. With time, that would happen. And the moment that you show me that you worth my time, I'm going to give you that. But sometimes, these dudes, I ain't talking about no man, I said these dudes, they sit in front of your face and they say, so what you like to do for fun? You want to go out, you want to skate? You want to go to the movies? You want to, no, because everything I'm telling you, you going to do that. I don't want that. I don't want a replica of what that door. I mean, stuff that is,
there you go.
The stuff that is already programmed in you to say. I want you to live. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you, let me tell y'all something. And I ain't even trying to go into my sugar baby. I ain't going to go into my sugar baby too much. But I'm going to give you a little bit. When I met that man, I met that man through my brother. My brother didn't set it up. My brother didn't do none of that. That man walked the door, I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, that is who I want. I stepped off. I minded my business. I never ran after him. I never said nothing to Champ. Champ ran after me. He kept calling and asking, where she at? I gave him what he wanted. But I didn't know that I was giving him everything. You hear me? I didn't know I was giving him everything. So when I met him, he was the kind of man that was sick when every woman here and there didn't matter and didn't care. And he did everything he wanted to do. But when he met me, I never asked him to slow down. I never told him he needed not to mess with no other women. I never told him that I want to be with you like this, that, and the third. It happened so gradually that he looked at me and said, I love you so much that I will never hurt your heart because your heart is mine. And because I love you the way that I do, even in my situation, Shaw, it ain't nothing you can talk to me about that I won't handle or deal with. So I came in that situation not saying, baby, I want to go bowling, I want to do things, I want you to give me. I never did that. I asked my brother, I said, you told me he wasn't that kind of man. He said, Shaw, I ain't even know it myself. I didn't know what I was getting. He didn't know what he was getting. But let me tell you the key word. I knew what I was giving. I knew what I was giving. So if I give you this and you show me that you are worthy of getting it, I'm going to give you everything you need. I gave him everything. It ain't got nothing to do with sexual. It was my mentality. It was my speaking. It was my talking. So one thing about it is, you can't deal with a man and not understand the man. It ain't about what you're getting, baby. Right. It's the man, because every individual man, should be treated different. Yeah. You got to get in tune with that man. You hear me? That man wasn't where he at right now. I bought that out of him. Because every woman brings something different out of every man. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
You hear me?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Yes.
And I would also have to say that it's all about perspective as well.
Exactly.
It's about perspective because you may meet a man, you may meet a person that you could not tell that to, and they will understand that. And then you may meet a person where you have to tell them where you're coming from. Because you don't ever want a person wondering how to please you when you can just tell them. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever want a person wondering, well, where's she at? It's like playing Russian roulette. You spending so much time you stressing yourself trying to figure everything out instead of just communicating.
I agree with that.
Communication is key.
Because sometimes us as women,
again, perspective.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
If that man deserves that much.
Sometimes some of our arguments come from us
not communicating.
No, it's communicating. But we expect our man to know.
No, you can't. That's toxic.
You cannot expect a man to know.
Hello.
We all like that.
And then when he don't know what you talking about, what?
I was just about to say that.
What?
Because it's bothersome for a man when a woman expects you to know. Am I wrong?
Because you don't know.
You don't like.
And then you get mad at me.
I thought you would have figured that out. No, baby. Use your words.
Yeah, use your words.
You ain't 4, 2, or 5. Use your words. Tell me what it is that you like. Tell me what you want me to do. I'm getting to know you. I mean, I'm talking about in the beginning. I'm getting to know you, right? So, oh well, I don't like it like me. I'm so honest. I don't give a doggone if it's a surprise. I'm like, whoa, thank you, but I don't really like those. I'm not a fan of that. You know, or I don't do this, or I don't do surprises. And you know, it might break your heart a little bit, because like, dang, I put all this effort in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through with it. But you know, from now on, from that point on, don't ever do that again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a waste of time. So like that, women have to, and men, we gotta start being so honest with each other that it leaves no room to have to try to figure it out. You know what I mean? He's having a serious conversation. Yeah.
I agree.
Nah, seriously, man. You know how much stuff, you know how much,
Because I'm going to tell you if I like something.
Yeah, but you know how, this is the thing. Just think about it. We worry about pleasing too much. In the beginning phases, we worry about pleasing too much. Oh, I don't want to say that because I don't want to hurt your feelings. Or I don't want to say that because I don't want them to be mad. You know what I'm saying? The hell with that. I'm going to tell you. And we need to get to the point where we're so comfortable with being able to do it that it'll bring about, if we get to that point where we come to do it, it'll bring about such a relationship, man, it's going to be inseparable. Because it's like, all right, now I know you. We didn't build a strong foundation because I know you. I'm not figuring you out 6 months later, 9 months later. You know what I mean? Oh, I think I want to marry her. And then you marry her and you find out that, I'm about to say she got dirty drawers in the closet. But, you know, something like that. Maybe she didn't want to throw them away, you know? All right. But there's that.
I feel you on that.
Bye, birthday girl.
See?
Be safe, Danny. So, yeah. We just got to begin to be honest with.
Well, how about we talk about how women want the truth, but can't handle the truth.
You know what? Let me start that off. Let me kickstart that. All right.
Oh, he beat my ass. Oh, my bad. He done smacked me in my ass.
So, with that, right? And I'm only speaking from experience because I'm a very honest dude. Like to the you know, sis, to the point that it hurts. But I'd rather tell you the truth and not have to think of what lie I done told you and pick up on that lie than to sit here and say, I was at Charles' house, you know, and then Charles end up coming over and you like, yeah, remember he was at your house on Friday? And Charles like, he wasn't at my house, you know. It's just dumb. Just tell the truth. But here's the thing. When you ask a man for the truth, be ready for the truth. Accept the truth. Look. It's not even just accepting it. Because this is the thing. Like y'all say, I want the truth, right? This is the reality of the situation. You can get mad. You got the right to get mad, depending on what it is. But at the end of the day, what you cannot say is that he did not tell you the truth.
I respect the fact that you told me the truth.
You know?
Don't lie to me.
You're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed for about 3-4 days.
Okay.
Ryan leg shaking. Let's let her chime in on this one. Ding ding. I saw that leg going like this here.
Repeat the last thing you were saying.
So I'm saying when a woman asks for the truth, you have to be prepared for the truth. Be ready for the truth. I said, and the thing about it is you'll be mad for about 3-4 days, but one thing that you can't say is that he lied to you. You know, you'll think about it like, oh well, you know what? He did tell me the truth. But one thing that I've noticed from experience, even when y'all know that we told you the truth, you won't come and say, oh, babe, you know, look, I appreciate you telling me the truth, but I'm still pissed off. You're just going to give me attitude. Again, this is from experience. You know, this goes back into how you can better a relationship. But go ahead.
I can't stand a liar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the kind of person that, in most cases, and this is not, I'm not right about everything. Because my husband said, you're not right. I'm not right about everything.
None of us are.
But I know what I'm dealing with. And I know who I'm dealing with. And majority of the time, before I speak verbally about something, I've already assessed your actions. I've watched you. I've evaluated the differences that I see, and I know how you do what you do when you do what you do when you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
So my thing is that at the end of the day, I already know. So my thing is if I say something to you or I pose a question, what I don't like is don't lie, and then I turn around and I find it out, and then I see that you were lying. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then I'm getting to the point in my life that I don't have a lot of chances, and this is just general.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love everybody, but my chances and my patience is very thin because I'm verbal, and I'm gonna tell you where I'm not gonna have you trying to figure me out. I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. I'm gonna sit you down and I'm gonna have a conversation, and I'm gonna tell you where you stand. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing that's making me feel this way. I'm gonna tell you.
Can I chime in back on that? I feel Ryan on that, like I really do, but I'm at a place like I think me being in North Carolina for like that whole year, like God had me like separated, and it was for me to find myself out and get myself together and look at me. But what you were saying, I don't have time to even, because my thing is we're all grown. I don't have, like you said, a lot of people, I don't go to you. I'm not going to keep going to people and telling you what you did, because we all grown. You know what you did. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. Like, Ryan, I think you said something about, letting them know something. Yeah, I'm not doing all that because we're grown. You know what I mean? Is it something? I'm not going to do all, I feel like we at an age. If I'm the kind of person, I give you chance after chance. I don't do that no more because I don't have time. I'm not giving you too many chances. Once I figure you out, it's up to me to deal with you, how I'm going to deal with you, and how long I want to deal with you. But I'm not going to come to you and say, hey, well, I don't want to be cool no more, because I'm not a child no more. You going to know by my silence about me leaving you alone. And it's no hate or no harm, no nothing, no bitterness or anything. It's just that time is up. Your time is up. And I'm at a place where if anything that disrupts my peace to now, and I think that come with age. I'm about to be 40. I don't have time to play.
It is.
Anything that disrupts my peace has to go. And at this point where I am now, I choose me over everything. I choose because I'm not tolerating nothing. I've been through hell and back. Yeah. And right now I'm at a place, if it destroys my peace or interrupts my peace, I don't care how close we were. I don't care I don't care if it's family. You gotta go, because I worked too hard to get where I am.
We're not just speaking on family.
I said that on my Facebook, I believe. If it disrupts my peace, it gotta go. What's the purpose? What's the purpose? And I did this too. I said, if I have a choice to deal with a person's attitude, I'ma choose the latter every time. Like, if I don't have to deal with it, if you're not my wife or it's not your husband, you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with that. No, I'm saying, so with the wife or the husband, you're supposed to work that thing out. But I'm saying, if to a degree, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. But
I told you it is what it is. You ain't fixed what it is. I ain't have to deal with that. God,
it's as simple as block.
Don't get so blindsided that God wants you to be into a marriage that you need to be unhappy. Mm-hmm. If you are not getting what you need in that marriage, because you married that woman, you married that man, he's supposed to be your covenant. He's supposed to be your everything. So what I can't do, you're supposed to do. If you ain't doing everything I need for you, because that's what God said you're supposed to do. I don't need you. God ain't never said being nothing and being happy. Kids ain't gonna keep me.
Exactly.
Ain't no motherfucking God gonna keep me.
I'm about to take you off there.
Oh, I was gonna say.
You didn't say it about 10 of them.
Kids ain't gonna keep me. Ain't no covenant, no marriage gonna keep me. Ain't none of that gonna help me there except for the fact that we are entwined with each other. If we not entwined with each other, I don't need to be here no more. I'm not gonna sacrifice how I feel for you. And that's period. Because I, as an individual, was me before I met you. And I'm gonna be me when I meet you. I'm not gonna downfall it, crawl it, talk about nothing else, be something else. I'm not doing none of that.
I was just about to say.
You marry me for me. Say, here I go.
You know.
And once I give you, say, here I go. Don't talk about it. Don't speak about it. Because you knew what you got into when you got into it. And we ain't about to do that. I've been married before all of y'all. I was in that 15, baby. I was 15 years old when I got with the man I was with. All my children by the same man. I ain't got no outside kids. And I've been with Butch when I was 15 years old, all the way up to the age of 34. And it was time to go. I've been supposed to left him. But I ain't never leaving because I'm so blindsided by the things that I thought. The things that I thought when you're young and you don't know no better, you do what you want.
Thanks
you do what is in front of you. So I didn't know better, so I couldn't do better. But now that I'm grown, he's the same man sitting in front of me. I look at him and I say, podcast, excuse my French, fuck you. Because we not gonna do that. What we won't do is make you think that you can manipulate my mind any further than what you already done did.
Real quick. So you paused and everything, and you still said it.
And I said, podcast, forget it.
So, anywho, I wanted to say, you know how many women lose their self-identity when they get married? Because they get so wrapped up into trying to please the man.
The first year. Let me tell you something.
What?
You know how many men lose themselves?
Yeah, this is bad or the sexist. I'm speaking from a man. I'm speaking from the.
And I'm speaking from a woman.
Right, but let me get my point out first. So what I'm saying is, so many women, they lose their self-identity because of a marriage, right? You get into that thing and you like, oh, you try to become everything that he wants you to be.
That's right, go on.
You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a problem because it's like, exactly. You know, it's like, oh, well, dang, do I really like grapes at 2 a.m? Do I really like peanut butter sandwiches? You know what I'm saying? Or is this just what he likes? You know?
First year of marriage, I went through that.
You gotta talk about it.
I could dress prior to being married. You know what I'm saying? Like I could dress. I always had an eye for fashion. But then I got to a place.
Hey, Leroy.
Like, do I even know? I couldn't even trust myself. Seriously, I was standing in the store one day, and I wanted to buy something to wear, and I didn't even know what I liked. And I said, I don't believe that I'm standing here and I don't know what I like. Because for so long, I just wanted to be whatever he wanted me to be.
And sometimes you get to the point where you start calling them and saying, babe, is this okay?
Yeah.
No, I'm not against that. But I even had to tell him, listen, I'm my own individual. Now, I'm not saying I won't consider you if I get blue hair. But don't ever think that I'm not going to choose it because you may not like it this time. I like it.
That's control.
That's control. So, you know, it's a thing. I consider what you say,
right,
because you're my head.
I respect it.
And I respect it.
That's right.
But don't ever think that I won't do it because you don't like it.
That's right.
Because I'm going to do what I want to do.
But it doesn't mean
respectfully.
Correct.
But I don't disrespect. It's not that I don't respect you any less.
Yeah, I don't respect you no less. I'm going to call you and say, babe, what do you think about? I went to a marriage class, and the young lady taught us women, she said that when you want to tell your husband something, first of all, you should never tell a man nothing. You should definitely say, well, baby, can I suggest? That's just respect. That's respect and submission.
That's what you say.
Can I please speak? And then I believe in honor. So I know when me and my husband is having casual conversation, and I know when he's speaking to me. See, I have to decipher the two because I'm married to a leader in the church. So I have to decipher when he's speaking to me about certain things. Some things don't need a response. And women will think that that's control. It's not. It's honor for your head because he has the vision. You make him work it, and God may even give you strategy, but he is the head of the home. He has the vision,
and that's the loss. That's the loss. That's the loss that a lot of women. That's a lot of loss that women have that they don't know how. Can I get the moment? That's a lot of the loss because you came into something.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the loss that women have that are feeling like I'm independent. I can do this on my own. I don't need no man for nothing. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. That is the loss that you don't know how to play your position.
You don't know your place.
You don't know how to be submissive when you got to be submissive, and you don't know how to be strong when you got to be strong. Sometimes your man don't need you to stand there and get in front of him.
No.
You got to fall to the back line and listen. No, it ain't just about letting them handle it, baby. It's about listening. Because if you don't listen, you won't understand what it is that he's fighting for. And when he's fighting for that, because we may disagree, we may feel a certain way, we may want to say something because we do agree, but sometimes it's our place to fall back.
Timing is everything.
Fall back.
You got to know when
and let your man be what God designed him to be.
Even if
and that's a man. Decision. Some women feel like me being submissive is me falling short as who I am. But that ain't women. No. Can I get a moment? That ain't women. That ain't women. You know what I'm saying? That ain't women. Females feel like they gotta be combative with their man. See, one thing I won't do, I'm not gonna follow no man that can't lead. And the moment that I feel you can't lead is the moment I will go. Because I'm not going to sit here and put myself in a situation while I'm walking supposedly behind my man. Because it's okay to walk behind your man. It's okay. Ain't no sucker, nothing in that. Walk behind your man if he's leading in the right direction. But if you're not leading me the right way, then I'll step off. And when I step off, it's not because I don't respect you. I just don't understand you. And I will not follow what I don't understand.
Well, I don't agree with stepping off. I think that as a woman, you have a place, and that's to pray.
Sometimes,
and I think
sometimes
again,
you can pray.
Again, it's perspective. Again, it's perspective, but it's also compromise. It's also knowing your place, and it's also being a wise woman. If you do what you're supposed to do as a wise woman, you're gonna build your home anyway. So even if his vision gets blurry, if you are in place, the blurry moment won't last.
That's not true. Because you gotta also understand the man that you. That's what I said. If you follow a man that knows how to lead, a woman, you ain't gotta look no further. You fall into place.
But every man gets blurred vision. There's no man that goes the right way all the time.
No one is perfect.
Right.
But what I'm telling you is, if the man is not leading you into the direction that you need to go, and you already see it, a woman will fall. I'm that woman. I know it. I'll follow you as long as your trial may go. I'll be with you no matter what you go through. When you fall, I'll pick you. You will never hit the ground messing with me.
Yeah.
But I always know that if you're not taking me to where I need to be, then I gotta fall back. That's what the fallback come from. Cause see, I'm not gonna be a fool for you.
Yeah.
I will never be a fool for you. I'll be your strength. I'll be the rib that God took out of you to make me. I'll be all that. I'll be submissive. It's no problem with me. But in order for you to make sure I'm following you, you got to make sure you lead your tribe in the way that they should go. Am I lying?
No, you're not
if
lying.
You don't lead
I think that that's still perspective. And I think that if that works, I think that if that works for your household, you got to understand that every woman is different. And everybody's endurance level is different. So I'm okay with my husband having variability at sometimes. Why? Because I understand that his process, I gotta let him endure the process. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I gotta
just not gonna win all the time.
As an individual, he's being built up as a man. And I have to give him room to be built up as a man. And as a husband, he's learning as a man.
Show you something repetitive.
Yeah, but guess what?
That is when it becomes a problem.
But guess what?
As a woman,
even if it's 3 times in a row, because even if it's 4 times in a row, guess what? It still does not disqualify the fact that he won't one day have vision. That's why I say. That's why I say that it is perspective, because this woman may have the capacity. And then this one don't. I'm just one that has the capacity. And it's not saying that Kevin has great vision.
You jumped the gun.
Nah, boo.
You said this woman may.
No, babe. Well, what I'm speaking of is, I'm speaking of the difference in women. I'm saying that Kavita make her endure.
You jumped the gun is what I'm telling you. Every woman brings out something different than every man.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You cannot be the same man. If I'm with him, he's not gonna be the same man with you that he was with me.
Exactly.
I'm gonna give him something different.
Exactly.
So he's gonna show me something different.
Exactly.
But that's not what I was talking about.
Right.
What I was speaking of, if you are in a committed relationship with a man and you are solely giving everything to him, and he shows you no change, he shows you that there's nothing that I'm
Okay. Go back. We had a little technical difficulty. Go ahead.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, Kavita.
I can't.
All right, bye.
Kavichi.
Good.
Okay. But no, I was basically saying that I do agree with what you were saying about that. Like, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Like, okay, indoor, go through the process. You know what I'm saying? Vision. I'm speaking of vision, like where you leading my family, like your credit, like buying a home. I'm not talking about dumb stuff, because my tolerance for dumb stuff. No, if you stand out all night, baby, stay there. Yeah, you don't have one time to do it. And I'm not boasting or anything, but I'm going into 5 years of marriage. My husband has never stayed out without communication. I want to say he's never stayed out. But again, who's to say? I'm not speaking anything, but who's to say we won't get into it? Because marriages go through things. Absolutely. And he may need to just stay out for the betterment of whatever we're experiencing in that season and time, in that moment. My husband has strong beliefs. I don't think he don't believe in separating no matter what the circumstances are. We've ran into situations where I felt like we needed space, and he was like, no, we just need to do it that way. And that just has worked for us. Not separating has worked for us. It doesn't mean that it won't work for you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not talking about like, I totally understand. I totally agree with my cousin. If he's staying out, you don't need him to show you 3 times. That he keeps saying, no, if all it takes is one, because where you staying at?
I wouldn't even say just once. I don't do that. Sometimes things happen.
Things happen.
But my thing is this. I'm not saying just saying out things.
Of course.
When somebody give you something repetitive that they do not like, and you and this ain't no man. This is not just us women.
No,
and saying a man, men. This go back to what I was saying about the cheating.
A real man that love you won't. It's not gonna compromise.
This is what I'm saying about the cheating situation. A man gonna give you what you need, but it's us that put the blinders on and don't pay attention. Sometimes you gotta pay attention to what a man is saying to you. I love you, everything good. We laughing, we joking, we walking through the meadows, skipping hands. But when that man tell you that he is unhappy with certain things, and we don't pay attention to it, and we brush it off as if it don't mean nothing, we act like men don't have feelings.
Be so self-centered.
And that is the selfish part that come about it. Because I know he gonna be here. He into me and I know he ain't going nowhere. You fail when you do that.
Don't ever think that.
Because the main thing is, when men cheat, it ain't just because they cheating. They warn us. I'm telling you, ain't nobody gonna tell me that they man ain't said, baby, you don't cook enough. Baby, you ain't cleaning enough. Baby, it's something that man's saying to you, but you're not paying attention to what he's saying. So therefore, you continue on doing your same old routine.
That was the nugget that I wanted you to bring up when we went live, because that's what we was talking about before we went live.
Yeah.
Real quick though, because it is 3:10 in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us. We're gonna go ahead and put a pin in this, and we're gonna put a part 2 to it. One of these coming Mondays, maybe this coming Monday, the following Monday, not tomorrow. Thank you for watching Real Talk Faith Walk, episode 21, Battle of the Sexes. It got a little deep. Shaw, she couldn't hold her tongue. There's a little bit of profanity, so we do forgive. Please forgive for that. As always, each and every Monday, guys, 8 p.m. right here, whatever you're watching, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, whatever it may be, catch us again next Monday, 8 p.m. right here. Until then, I love you. Have a great night.
You've just tuned in to the baddest podcast in the land. Real Talk Faith Walk. Real talking. Faith walking. Saving souls one laugh at a time. We want to help you live life without limitations and stand on faith. Like, tag, share, invite. It only takes one. Now, without further ado, here's your host, Pastor Glenn Monk Pollard.